Ever feel like your heart just isn't keeping up the way it used to? Maybe you get a little dizzy when you stand up too fast. Or perhaps you've noticed your energy fading halfway through the day, even though you're not doing anything too demanding. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and it might not just be age. It could be your blood pressure sending out distress signals. See, after 60, our bodies become more sensitive to shifts in blood pressure. What used to be just a little off when we were younger can now knock the wind right out of us. And the scary part? Most people don't realize the small, everyday things they're doing that are actually making their blood pressure worse. That's why we're going to talk about the 7 critical blood pressure mistakes seniors must avoid, because these habits, even the seemingly innocent ones, could be draining your energy, weakening your heart, and quietly stealing your independence. But don't worry, this isn't about fear. It's about taking back control. Once you understand how these simple mistakes affect your body, you can start making small, powerful changes that bring your energy, clarity, and confidence back. Let's start by shining a light on a few of these hidden troublemakers and what you can do instead. Now, let me ask you, do you still reach for the salt shaker at dinner? Or maybe you enjoy a warm can of soup for lunch on chilly days? Here's the thing. Sodium is sneaky. And it's not just in chips and fries. Many comfort foods marketed to older adults, like canned soups, frozen dinners, or deli meats, are loaded with hidden salt. Too much sodium causes your body to hold on to water, which puts pressure on your blood vessels and makes your heart work harder. Over time, that extra pressure wears out your arteries and raises your risk of stroke, kidney trouble, and fatigue that never seems to go away. The tricky part is that your taste buds adjust over time, so if you've eaten salty foods for years, you might not even taste it anymore, but your blood vessels still feel it. The good news? You can reset your taste buds by cutting back slowly. Swap that salty soup for a homemade veggie version. Season with garlic, lemon, or herbs instead of salt. Within a few weeks, your body and your blood pressure will thank you. Let's talk about another big mistake: skipping hydration. You might be surprised by this one. Many seniors cut back on water because they don't want to be running to the bathroom all the time. Totally understandable. But here's the catch. When you don't drink enough water, your blood becomes thicker, and your body has to pump harder to push it through your veins. That raises your blood pressure. Even mild dehydration can leave you feeling tired, dizzy, or foggy-headed. So instead of drinking big glasses all at once, try sipping throughout the day. Keep a glass of water nearby, especially with meals and medications. And if plain water gets boring, try flavoring it naturally with slices of cucumber, lemon, or a few fresh berries. You'll stay more hydrated without overloading your bladder, and your heart will have a much easier time doing its job. Now here's one a lot of folks don't realize until it's too late: sitting too much. I get it. After a certain age, our bodies crave rest more often. But long periods of sitting, especially without stretching or standing, can actually slow circulation and stiffen the arteries. This not only leads to higher blood pressure, but also makes your legs feel heavier, your back ache more, and your balance suffer. You don't need a gym membership or fancy workout clothes. Just try standing up every hour, stretching your arms, or walking to the kitchen and back. Even 5 minutes of movement every hour adds up. If your knees hurt, try gentle chair exercises or light stretches you can do while watching TV. Movement is medicine, especially for your heart. And while we're on the subject of things we think are harmless, let me gently bring up something else that often gets overlooked: relying on over-the-counter medications without realizing their side effects. Things like cold medicine, pain relievers, or even certain allergy pills can quietly raise your blood pressure. Some decongestants, for example, constrict blood vessels, which can be especially risky if you already have high blood pressure or take medication for it. If you're not sure about something you're taking, even a vitamin, check with your pharmacist or doctor. It's not about being afraid of every pill. It's about being informed. And when your blood pressure is more stable, your energy and clarity often improve too. I want to pause here and say something important. None of this is about blame. These habits sneak in over the years without us noticing. And honestly, a lot of what we were taught growing up, like drinking coffee to stay alert or skipping meals to keep weight down, doesn't serve our bodies well in our 60s and beyond. But you can unlearn the things that don't work anymore and feel so much better for it. You deserve mornings where you wake up clear-headed, afternoons where you still have energy to enjoy a walk or chat with a friend, and evenings where your heart isn't racing just from climbing the stairs. Small steps like cutting back on hidden salt, drinking water throughout the day, moving just a little more, and being mindful of the pills in your cabinet can truly open the door to that kind of life. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One smart change at a time. Let's keep this momentum going. There are a few more common mistakes people over 60 make when it comes to blood pressure. Some might really surprise you, and we'll talk about those next. But for now, take a moment to reflect. How much water have you had today? Have you stood up and stretched recently? These little moments matter more than you might think, and you've already taken the most important first step. You're here, you're learning, and you're choosing to take better care of your body. That deserves a big pat on the back. So, we've already uncovered a few sneaky habits that can send your blood pressure in the wrong direction, like that innocent salt shaker, skipping hydration, or spending a little too long in the recliner. But let's keep going, because there are a few more traps that many folks fall into without realizing, and they can have a big impact on your energy, your mood, and even your safety. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt fine 1 minute, then suddenly your heart starts fluttering or beating faster for no obvious reason? Maybe you chalked it up to stress or getting older, but did you know that ignoring poor sleep is one of the most common mistakes that leads to blood pressure problems, especially in seniors? Here's the connection. When you don't get enough deep, restful sleep, your body doesn't get the chance to fully relax and recover. Your stress hormones stay elevated and your heart never really gets a break. That raises your blood pressure, even if you don't feel particularly tired during the day. And the frustrating part? Many people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond don't even realize they're sleeping poorly. Maybe you wake up several times a night to use the bathroom, or you have trouble falling asleep in the first place. Maybe you've just gotten used to running on less sleep and figure it's normal at your age. But poor sleep isn't something to ignore. Over time, it puts real strain on your heart and blood vessels. That's why one of the best things you can do for your blood pressure is to build a gentle evening routine that tells your body it's time to wind down. Turn off bright screens an hour before bed. Keep your bedroom cool and quiet. Try listening to soft music or taking a warm bath. And if you're dealing with sleep apnea, where your breathing stops briefly during sleep, it's important to talk to your doctor. It's more common in seniors than many people think, and it's a major contributor to high blood pressure. Speaking of stress hormones, here's another habit that slips under the radar: carrying quiet, chronic stress. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of big, obvious stress, like losing a loved one or moving houses, although those definitely affect us. I mean the daily, background kind of stress that builds up when you worry about money, feel isolated, or carry frustration that things aren't as easy as they used to be. You might smile and say, "I'm fine," but your body still hears the stress, and that triggers a chain reaction. Your blood vessels tighten, your heart rate goes up, and your blood pressure follows. It's like your body is constantly getting ready to fight or flee, even if you're just sitting on the couch watching TV. So how do you break that cycle? You start by giving yourself permission to slow down. You don't have to push through everything. Deep breathing exercises really do help. Just a few minutes a day can lower stress hormones. Talking to a friend, keeping a journal, or doing something simple with your hands like knitting or gardening can work wonders too. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, it's more than okay to talk to someone, a counselor, a faith leader, or even your doctor. You don't have to carry it all alone. Now, here's a big one, and this one's personal for a lot of folks: not taking your blood pressure medication the right way. or at all. I know. Pills can be a sore subject. Maybe you're taking a handful already, and adding another one just feels like too much. Or maybe you took a blood pressure pill years ago that made you dizzy or tired, so you stopped it and never went back. But here's the truth. High blood pressure doesn't always make you feel bad, until it causes something serious like a stroke, kidney damage, or vision loss. That's why it's often called the silent killer. Medication isn't a failure, it's a tool, a smart, life-protecting tool. And if one type doesn't work for you, there are lots of options your doctor can try. The important thing is to talk about it, not avoid it. If you are on medication, make sure you're taking it consistently, at the same time, every day. Skipping doses or doubling up later can make things worse. Use a pill organizer, set reminders on your phone, or ask someone close to help keep you on track. Managing your blood pressure well isn't just about numbers. It's about protecting your independence, your sharp mind, and your ability to enjoy life on your own terms. Now let me tell you about a friend of mine, Mary. She's 73 and as lively as they come, but last year she started having dizzy spells. At first, she thought it was just normal aging, but then she had a fall in her garden. Nothing too serious, thank goodness, but it shook her confidence. She finally went to the doctor and found out that not only was her blood pressure too high, but she was also drinking 2 strong cups of coffee every morning without eating anything. That combo was giving her a jolt that pushed her pressure up and left her shaky by late morning. So Mary made a simple change. She started eating a small breakfast, just a piece of toast with almond butter or a boiled egg, and switched to half-calf coffee. Within a couple of weeks, the dizziness stopped, her energy came back, and she hasn't missed a morning walk since. Sometimes it really is the little things. And that's the point I want to leave you with for now. These blood pressure mistakes, they're fixable. You don't need to overhaul your life or become a health nut. You just need to notice the little habits and swap in better ones that support your body, not fight against it. More restful nights, less hidden stress, smart medication habits. These aren't big leaps, they're gentle nudges in the right direction. You've already shown that you care about your health by being here and listening. That tells me something powerful. You haven't given up, and that means there's still time to feel stronger, steadier, and more in control again. Let's take a breath together for a second. You've already made it this far, learning, reflecting, maybe even noticing a few changes you're ready to make. That right there is strength, and you might not hear this enough, but it takes real courage to look at your health, especially when your body feels different than it used to, and say, I want better. Now, let's keep going, because there's still a few more hidden blood pressure mistakes that can quietly chip away at your energy, your balance, and your peace of mind. And we're not about to let that happen without a fight. Let me paint a little picture for you. Imagine you're sitting down to a nice, cozy dinner, maybe some roasted chicken, a baked potato, and a little wine to unwind. You finish up, wash the dishes, settle into your favorite chair, and think, that was a good meal. What you don't realize is that your body might be working overtime to process something that's affecting your blood pressure behind the scenes. I'm talking about not getting enough potassium and getting too much sugar and processed food instead. Potassium is one of those unsung heroes your body needs to keep blood pressure in check. It helps your kidneys get rid of excess sodium, keeps your blood vessels relaxed, and supports your heartbeat. But here's the catch. A lot of common foods, especially quick and easy ones like boxed meals, frozen entrees, or pastries, don't just lack potassium, they're often loaded with the exact stuff that raises your pressure. Excess sugar, preservatives, artificial additives, and over time, that imbalance creates the perfect storm for high blood pressure. Now the good news is, you don't need to become a nutrition expert or start eating kale every day. Just bring in more of the good stuff. Bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, avocados, beans. Even a small bowl of cantaloupe or a handful of raisins can give you a boost. These foods are naturally high in potassium and fiber, and they help your heart do its job without stress. A great habit? Start adding one blood pressure-friendly food to your plate each day. No pressure, no overhaul, just one better choice. You might even start to feel the difference after a week or two. That sluggish feeling after meals, that bloated, tired slump, it eases up when your body gets the minerals it needs to work with you. Now, this next mistake is a big one, and it's close to home for a lot of people. It's the mistake of thinking that blood pressure is just a number. Maybe you've had a few appointments where the nurse said your blood pressure was a little high, and they told you to keep an eye on it. So you nodded, went home, and didn't think much of it. After all, it's not like anything hurts, right? But that's the thing. High blood pressure is quiet. It doesn't cause pain, but it does quietly wear down your arteries, overwork your heart, and steal your energy. And here's what matters most. It doesn't just affect your physical health. It affects your confidence. It makes your legs feel unsteady, your balance more fragile, your brain foggier than it should be. It can even rob you of your independence, one slow step at a time. But it doesn't have to. See, when you stop thinking of blood pressure as a number and start thinking of it as a signal, you take the power back. A signal is something you can listen to, something you can respond to. And that response doesn't have to be dramatic. It just needs to be steady, like a heartbeat. You might be thinking, but I don't know what my blood pressure even is half the time. And that brings us to another missed opportunity, not checking your blood pressure at home. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most overlooked ways seniors can stay in control of their health. Here's why it matters. When you only check your blood pressure at the doctor's office, you're getting a snapshot, and often it's not a relaxed one. Many folks get what's called white coat syndrome, where their pressure goes up just from being in the clinic. That one number doesn't tell the whole story, but when you check at home, when you're calm, in your routine, at your own pace, you start to see patterns. And patterns tell you what's really going on. A good home blood pressure monitor is easy to find, and most are very simple to use. Just put the cuff on, press a button, and write down the numbers. Some even store the data for you. If your numbers are consistently over 130, over 80, it's time to talk to your doctor. But the key is, you get to see it early. You get to be the one who notices first. And that's powerful. It's not about becoming obsessed with numbers. It's about staying connected to your body. It's about having a clear window into what your heart is doing, so you can make decisions based on real information, not guesswork. Let's imagine something together for a moment. You wake up one morning, stretch your arms overhead, and your body feels lighter. You head into the kitchen, pour yourself a glass of water, and enjoy a breakfast that doesn't make you sluggish afterward. You take a short walk without feeling winded. Maybe you even forget for a moment that your age is supposed to hold you back, because you feel stronger than you have in years. That kind of morning? It's not a dream. It's the result of stacking small choices on top of each other. Gently, patiently. Less stress, better sleep. Fewer hidden sugars. A little more movement. And a heart that finally says, "Thank you for taking care of me." Aging doesn't mean settling for less energy or accepting that you'll always feel off. It means adapting, learning, growing into a wiser version of yourself that knows how to listen and how to respond. And the best part? You're already doing that right now. You're not just sitting back and hoping things improve. You're actively choosing to learn what your body needs. That choice alone makes you stronger than you know. Let's keep this going. We've got a few more powerful tools to share. Simple, overlooked strategies that can help you feel more grounded, more stable, and more energized than you have in a long time. And I can't wait to share them with you. But for now, take a deep breath. Feel that sense of calm in your chest. And remember, you're on the right path. You know, it's amazing what happens when you start paying closer attention to your body. You begin to notice small changes, like feeling less dizzy when you stand up, or not needing to nap as much in the afternoon. Maybe you feel more alert in the morning, Or your legs aren't as stiff after sitting for a while. Those little shifts, that's your body saying, thank you. It's proof that even small choices add up in big ways. And now, as we wrap up this conversation, there are just a few more things we need to cover because they could make the difference between a life ruled by medications and limitations, or one filled with more walks, more laughter, and more freedom. Let's talk about something that gets brushed aside far too often: dehydration. Now, I know we mentioned it briefly earlier, but it's worth revisiting because it shows up again and again as one of the biggest mistakes older adults make when it comes to blood pressure, and many don't even realize it's happening. You see, as we age, our sense of thirst gets weaker. You might not feel thirsty even when your body desperately needs fluids. And when you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker. That forces your heart to work harder to push it through your arteries. The result? Higher blood pressure and more strain on your entire cardiovascular system. And dehydration doesn't just affect your heart. It messes with your balance, your memory, and even your mood. Feeling cranky for no reason? A little confused or foggy? It might not be just aging. It could be as simple as needing more water. Try this gentle habit. Every morning, before coffee, before breakfast, drink a full glass of water. Not a sip, a glass. Then aim for another 2 or 3 glasses spaced throughout your day. Add lemon if you like. Herbal tea counts too. You don't need to chug a gallon. Just keep it steady. Hydrated blood flows easier, and that helps bring your blood pressure into a healthier range naturally. And here's a mistake that many seniors fall into without meaning to: cutting back on movement out of fear. Maybe you've had a fall before. Maybe your joints ache a little more than they used to, or you're afraid of getting too winded. It's understandable. You're trying to protect yourself. But here's the thing: avoiding movement actually makes you weaker, not safer. Muscles shrink, your balance gets worse, and your blood pressure climbs because your body isn't pumping and circulating the way it should. Now, I'm not saying you need to join a gym or start lifting weights. Even a short 10-minute walk around your living room or down the driveway can make a difference. Gentle stretches while seated. Marching in place while holding the back of a chair. These simple movements get your heart pumping just enough to train it, not strain it. And when you move more, your blood vessels become more flexible. That's key. Stiff blood vessels are one of the major reasons blood pressure stays high as we age. Movement helps restore that flexibility. A great goal? Just move a little more than yesterday. That's it. One extra trip up the hallway. One more stretch before bed. It adds up. And if you have a walking buddy, even better. Laughter and movement. That's medicine in itself. And now, before we finish, let's address something that's been hanging in the background this whole time: giving up too soon. This is perhaps the biggest mistake of all. The belief that it's too late for me. Maybe you've had high blood pressure for years. Maybe you've already had a health scare, a mini stroke, a heart issue, or a hospital visit. And there's this quiet voice in the back of your mind that says, "I've missed my chance. What's the point now?" Let me be crystal clear. It is never too late. Your body may be older, yes, but it still wants to heal. It still responds to care. It still listens to what you feed it, how you move it, how you rest. Seniors in their 70s, 80s, even 90s have lowered their blood pressure, reduced medications, and reclaimed their vitality just by making a few consistent changes. And even if your numbers never become perfect, your quality of life can still improve. More energy, fewer headaches, better sleep, a steadier gait, more confidence when walking to the mailbox or carrying in groceries. That's what this is really about. Your freedom. I want you to imagine something. You're at your granddaughter's birthday party. There's laughter, balloons, cake being sliced. Someone hands you a plate, and instead of needing to sit down right away, you feel strong enough to stand and talk with your family. You feel steady. Your mind is clear. You're present, not worried about your heart or feeling dizzy. That moment, that's what taking care of your blood pressure gives you. Not more years just for the sake of it, but better years, stronger years. So here's what I want you to take with you from this conversation. You're not powerless. You're not too old. You're not past the point of change. You have the wisdom of experience, the strength of a survivor, and now you have the knowledge. And knowledge is power when you act on it. Start where you are. Drink that extra glass of water. Take a few steps after lunch. Check your pressure at home. Choose the sweet potato instead of the cookie. Laugh with someone you love. And if you slip up, that's okay. You just start again tomorrow. That's how real change happens, with grace, not perfection. And if this video helped you feel just a little more hopeful, a little more motivated, or just a little more seen, I hope you'll let me know. Leave a comment, share your story, or ask a question below. You're not alone. This is a community of folks who care about aging with strength and dignity. And if you'd like to see more tips like this on muscle strength, leg stability, energy, or nutrition for life after 60, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're in this together, and I'd love to keep helping you on your journey. Until next time, here's to strong legs, better mornings, and living your best life after 60. You've got this.